Let's go for take 2. At least for today, I can stand here and tell you all about my dad, Kenneth Mosley. I've spent the last month feeling hurt and angry, but y'all already know that. With everything that has gone wrong with this cursed funeral, it really is just par for the course at this point. Besides, we all know Dad's behind all of it, including the 26-hour joyride he took around the country where even the Postal Service had no idea where he was. But there's so much more to Dad than just his shenanigans, though they were countless. From road surfing to nights out with his fellow Marines at New York, to stories not quite appropriate enough to tell here today. If you know, you know. All the long nights playing D&D, the Sunday afternoons in Okinawa spent listening to Dr. Demento, and later mornings with Bob and Tom. We never failed to belt out dead puppies or prison bitch. My dad wasn't just a gunnery sergeant, a Freemason, a Cessna 172 pilot in training, dive instructor, telecommunications master, Sakajakai pioneer for Southern California, or a pinball wizard. He was a friend, a father, a son, an uncle, a brother, a grandfather, and even a great-grandfather. He was an athlete. He was an avid scuba diver. He played football for the Marine Corps. I don't think there was a single day in my childhood that we didn't work out. I had my own mini little boot camp growing up. I still don't know how to not do a proper push-up. With all the Marine Corps stories I've lived through or heard over the years, I've recently learned more about his military career. I knew about his deployments to the Middle East, all his stays in Okinawa. I knew of all his years in telecommunications, both for the Corps and as a civilian. However, I had no idea he was an intelligence man. Air, ground, and amphibious. We all knew he was smart, but we also knew the man didn't have a lick of common sense. I won't go into his addiction to weaponry, his love of travel, Zippo collection, love for animals, or his Harley days, encouraging others to love riding long after he sold a Sportster. Dad leaves behind so many memories. Some I have the privilege of sharing with you now. Brenda's best memories are just being with Dad, cuddled on the floor watching TV, going to the park with her boys, just sitting and talking with them. His favorite memory was their father-daughter date night to go see Jarhead. He was giddy as a schoolgirl both before and after. Nikki remembers visiting Dad at Camp Pendleton, sitting by a black pool while he was training people to scuba dive. Another time they were at Grandma Dee's. All the kids were playing, but she fell asleep in his lap. Robert's telling me about Dad teaching him how to dive for his 14th birthday. Josh had a really hard time picking which memories he wanted to share. He had so many good ones. But he remembers going diving in Oceanside and playing baseball with Dad. For me, it would be the night Kathy, Josh, and I were trying to teach Dad how to play hacky sack in the dining room. We had to move outside under the streetlight after Dad fell onto the desk. I am lucky enough to have spent so many early morning hours drinking coffee on the phone with him, talking about everything. His work, my kids, his memories, dreams he never got to accomplish, you name it. It was my favorite way to start the day. And of course, his perverted sense of humor that he passed on to all of us kids, and we have in return passed it on to his grandkids.
That's the fucking part of having a Marine father.
Absolutely.
My dad was a Marine. Trust me, I know too.
Dad didn't sugarcoat life, and neither do I. He didn't live the life he thought he would, but who does? Nikki said it best. Dad was a Marine, inside and out. He learned all the good things and the bad from the Corps. This meant, as a father, this sometimes put miles between him and his children, both physically and emotionally. Dad was a hard man to love. He was loved, though, and thought of often. He still is and always will be. My dad was only ever normal-sized a handful of times. In my eyes, he was always such a giant of a man. I will never again hear him say, "Love you, girl," or "Love you, Shellspot." As Robin Williams would say, playing the role of Morch, Nanu, Nanu.
Marines! Hi! Yahoo! Give them a rise!